Please have a seat. I'll be ready for you in just a moment. Right. Good afternoon. My name is Samira. What can I do for you today? You're looking for a job. Yes, I figured as much. We are the Exo-Development Office, after all. Part of the Sector Development Authority. So, staffing vacant positions around the sector is what we do. Before we start, I want to make sure that you are aware that this office handles off-world jobs, especially related to space exploration and colony development. Just in case you were looking for a job here on Pavanos 3. If you are, you need to go to the other Sector Development Office, a few stories below us. Just making sure neither of us waste our time. This place can be a bit labyrinthian. You prefer off-planet work? Good. Have you used our services before? No? Let me open a new file on you then. And I will have to scan your ID chip, if you don't mind. Thank you. I have some info on you here. Name, ID number, some other personalia, but not a CV. You arrived just a few days ago, is that so? Yes, these things tend to take some time to transfer and update. But if you've got it on an external storage device, something I can verify in a day or two, that won't be a problem. You do, and you brought it with you. Wonderful. It's always nice when people come prepared. Yes, you're making a good impression already. Let's see what qualifications and experience you have. You're an exobiologist, specializing in botany, with 5 years experience from several projects. That is very good indeed. With all the expansion projects going on at the moment, exobiologists can be hard to come by, especially botanists, so we are very glad of your interest. And I believe I have several ongoing projects that you might be interested in. I can present some of them to you right now, but first I would like to ask you a few questions. Oh, they are standard interview questions. Questions that our project leaders want every potential new hire to answer. So I suggest we go through the questions first, and then I will present you with off-world projects or sites that are looking for more staff. I will send your credentials and the interview to the ones you find interesting. Does that sound okay? Good. We'll get right to it then. We'll begin with some questions related to motivations and goals. First off, what inspired you to seek a career in space exploration and terraforming? Or rather, what made you study exobiology in the first place? Where do you see yourself contributing most? On planetary surfaces, aboard orbiting stations, or on deep space missions? How do you feel about long-term assignments that might keep you away from family and friends for years at a time? Do you have a specific goal for your career? Something in particular that you would like to achieve? Okay, that's good. I have your CV now, but I would still like to ask you a few things about technical and professional skills. Describe a complex project you have worked on and how you managed the technical and logistical challenges involved. Maybe just one main challenge. That is impressive. Have you ever had to adapt to working with unfamiliar technology or equipment? And if so, how did you handle it? How did it go? What expertise do you have with multi-environment systems, such as those used in life support or habitat modules? So you have some hands-on experience, but no courses or certificates. No, that's still very good. whatever maintenance can be done on site by the staff we already have saves us a lot of time. Yes, of course. It's only in case something unforeseen happens. We do not expect you to take on extra tasks like this as part of your regular schedule. You will, of course, focus on exobiology, your field of expertise. Adaptability and interpersonal skills next. How do you handle extreme isolation or working in confined spaces with a small team for extended periods? Do you have any experience with that? We have bigger projects too, of course, but even then, you must expect some level of it, yes. Any expertise with sensory deprivation? How do you prepare for and react to unexpected variables, such as unusual atmospheric conditions or sudden geological shifts? Alien weather, yes. I see. And what precautions have you been used to previously? Sounds good. The projects you've worked on in the past seems well organized. Space missions often involve working with diverse teams from different planets and cultures. How has that worked out for you in the past? How would you ensure effective communication without misunderstandings? Can you give an example of a time you had to mediate a conflict within a team? Okay. Good. A few questions on physical and psychological preparedness next. Terraforming projects are often established in harsh, uninhabited environments. Have you undergone any survival training for such environments? And have you ever had to apply those skills? do you handle stress when your physical safety is at risk, such as during extravehicular activity, EVAs, yes, or surface exploration missions? You will have to pass a physical fitness test, of course, but how do you ensure that you will continue to meet the physical fitness criteria throughout your time of employment? Do you have a workout routine, in other words? And how well does it work in a different gravity, yes? I see. I will now present you with 3 hypothetical scenarios, and I want just 1 or 2 sentences describing what you would do. Don't think about it too much, okay? Just answer what feels natural. You are tasked with leading an exploration team on an uncharted exoplanet. Suddenly, you encounter a life form exhibiting hostile behavior. What steps do you take to protect your team while fulfilling the mission objectives? During a routine mining operation, your crew discovers a resource that could be of strategic importance, but it poses a significant risk if mishandled. How do you proceed? While on a hostile alien world, a communication breakdown occurs between your surface team and mission control. How would you prioritize your actions to ensure the safety and success of the operation? There's one last question. Space colonization often involves modifying environments to better suit human needs. How do you balance the ethical implications of terraforming with the necessity of survival? Let's say on a world with microbial life, but no advanced animals. Mm-hmm. Thank you. I think you can be a great fit for several of our projects. How about I show you 3 to begin with, and you give them some consideration, and if none of them seem relevant to you, we can look at some more. Let's do that then. The first project is right here in system. We are in the first stages of terraforming Yulim's second largest moon. Yes, the gas giant. It will have spectacular views. So far, we have 3 orbiting stations in place, and all work is being done from orbit, analyzing, preparing the atmosphere, and so on. We need exobiologists on that project, both to grow food on the orbiting stations and to help prepare the atmosphere for plant life. Oh, more than a decade, I believe. It's a steady job, and you can return here regularly, at least a few times a month. It's a good option for someone who needs to stay close to family, and a good opportunity to follow our terraforming project for a prolonged time. You could stay in this one project for your whole career if you'd like, and become an expert in it. It's quite complex, and you'd be able to branch out and diversify your education and field of experience. Sounds interesting? Maybe? Alright. The next one, and I'll try to give you a bit of diversity here. Let's see. Yes, this one. A new deep space survey mission due to leave in 6 weeks. They're doing preliminaries right now. How long? It's estimated to last a little over 4 standard years. The most monotonous of my offers, perhaps, but well paid, and the ship is modern and spacious. The crew will be sizable, over 100, I think. You will orbit planets and satellites and survey them to determine whether or not they will be suitable for future expeditions, either for terraforming or mining. But you will not do any of that work yourselves, no. Okay, the last project I would like to present to you is one that we have kept quite close to the chest so far. We might be able to go public with it next year, but that will depend on a few different things, including what conclusions the team comes to, if any. We need to be as certain as we can. And I'm only telling you this because they did recently request another exobiologist to join them. The planet in question is called Echion Dagua, or just Dagua, and it is our newest research location. You should be able to see it on your screen now. It's been on our radar for a while, but since it sits right on the edge of known space, it hasn't been a priority. Until just a few years ago, when we discovered how unusual it is. It looks quite beautiful, doesn't it? Yes, all the greenery is flora, plant life, all over. We are in the process of establishing a permanent on-site research facility, by the time you get there, if you choose to go, that is, it should be fully equipped and ready for you. If you've heard about Dagwa beforehand, you can disregard anything you might have read or picked up from the newsfeed. The public information has been somewhat misleading. It is categorized as a terraforming project, and that is technically correct, we believe. The project has received criticism based on its remote location, which is understandable. There is no good reason to establish a terraforming project so far off any beaten path. Colonists assigned to it would be very isolated indeed. The thing is, it is not our terraforming project. That's right. If it is indeed a terraforming project, it was established by someone else. An alien civilization capable of interstellar travel that we have yet to encounter. We believe it to be a failed or abandoned terraforming project, yes. Plant life is abundant, but with a very limited selection of species, and aside from a few pollinators, there is no fauna whatsoever. By the lack of biodiversity and the estimated time since the plants arrived on Dagwa, we believe that the terraforming project was abandoned a long time ago. Perhaps the civilization that started it disappeared, or perhaps they are still out there, but decided not to continue the development of the planet. Either way, we might have reached the outer edge of their territory, which will, of course, have immense political and military implications. What we want the research team to do is study the plant life, of course, and specifically to look for traits that are unlikely to originate on that planet. Any capabilities, defenses, or adaptations the plants might have that does not seem useful or relevant in their current environment. Something that might have originated in another system, yes. I cannot guarantee that the job will be yours if you want it. It's not my decision, but I think it will. If you find it interesting, and not too daunting, that is, you are the best candidate so far, and we would rather fill the position as soon as possible. Do you have any further questions? Okay. Let me just transfer all the info I've got to you on all 3 options. There. Think about it for a few days and let me know. Yes, that's perfectly fine. It's an important decision. You should give it some time. Just contact me again if you have any questions. I'm here most days. Alright. Thank you for coming. We look forward to hearing from you.